Hi, I'm Belinda Fenty.
And I'm Pauline Nakirya.
Welcome to Let's React podcast, the podcast that amplifies the voices of artists from underrepresented backgrounds in the UK and beyond.
Yeah, we'll share our experiences, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. From addressing underrepresentation
to celebrating diverse, rich stories.
Join us on this journey as we react to the world around us and inspire change in the industry. Hello and welcome to Let's React podcast. Hello.
Hello.
My name is Pauline Nakirya and this is the beautiful
Belinda Fenty.
Yes, look at it with that floral, spring colors. I like the spring.
Summer.
Even though it's sort of,
even though it looks like winter outside. Yeah.
Winter's coming. Sorry, had to. I'm here all night.
Mandatory.
But no, how are you, Belinda? How are you?
I'm well. I'm very well. I have been exceedingly busy, but it's been good vibes. So, as you know, I went to a brilliant film festival.
Yes.
Soul, Story of Our Unseen Lives. I can't believe they've been going for 6 years.
No,
already.
me neither.
Yeah. But it's an amazing festival. So if anyone hasn't been, look out for it next year because there's some really amazing talent out there. We got to see some incredible short films and it's a great opportunity to meet the people making stuff as well.
Definitely. Yeah. And I think they also have like events throughout the year as well. Like screenings of short films and just, all around networking stuff. So it's worth looking out for. But yeah, it was really cool, wasn't it? Like
really cool.
You know, when you see people's faces, you're like, you look familiar. No, you look familiar. But it was really nice. And yeah, it was great vibes, honestly. It was really nice to be in that space. And I'm so glad we got to go.
It's funny because Pauline and I were talking before the show with another actor and we were asking if we knew anyone in the films. And I said, no, I'm not here because I know someone. I just know it's a great festival. Anyway, the films start and I literally know people involved or directly in 80% of the short films. I'm like, that's my girl. Yeah. So it's a tiny world, the acting world.
It is. It really is. And yeah, that was quite fun as well. And it was nice surprises as well because like one of the things we always forget to do as creatives, as artists sometimes is to celebrate our own little, I wouldn't even say successes because I think it's like the things we get done, like we forget to celebrate those little things, because they make all the difference. And we also don't obviously shout it out across the rooftop saying, oh my gosh, I'm doing this, oh my god, I did this. But I think it's also nice to acknowledge those moments when you've done something, when you've achieved something, because I know it's quite hard because I usually hear my mom's voice going, don't put everything on social media because people will be like, hey, what should she do? Oh, obviously coming from an African background, thinking that people will wish ill intent on you or something like that.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. But at the same time, there's a part of me that's thinking, actually, it's also good to let other people know what you're up to so they can support you.
We're a different generation. I mean, so my mum has a similar thing, but for different reasons, not for ill intent, but more stop telling people about your business because they will stalk you, basically. It's like, you shouldn't put that on there. Oh, you shouldn't, or because people are going to be looking and So, but it's like, well, I've said to my mum, it's like, look, I'm an actor. I literally, I'm out there. I am out there. So we have to be. It
is a profession where you're actually, literally out there. You rely on being out there, not like just like it's not hush hush type thing. No, but it's do you reckon that has kind of sipped into like how we think about ourselves as artists in a way, like how much we put out there, how much we don't? What do you think? Because I think a little bit in a way that sometimes in the moment you feel, oh, maybe I shouldn't say that because it's that moment of what is too much information and what
Yeah,
isn't. And
yeah, I
so
get you.
I
Because
think
you have the friends who publish when they do a juicy poo,
mm,
or you know what I mean, like
yeah.
regular information, slightly a bit too much overshare.
Yeah.
I mean, was it a fully formed poo? Was it like, did it have little nubbles on it? Was it like toothpaste? But still, yeah. So there's
Yeah.
levels.
Yeah. Let's get into that. Is it a floaty? Is it
Exactly. But I don't
Yeah.
know. So for me, I think it's personal taste. I choose not to put everything on socials. I want some space for myself. I want space to put. I also don't want anyone's opinions on. Do you know, like I have to think, what's the purpose of me putting this out there?
That's true.
And mostly the purpose of me putting things on my socials it's two things. One, it's to say, hi, remember me, look, I'm doing this. If you've got work, send it my way.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
or like, yeah, we could do with an audience for this, or come and see this play,
Mm-hmm.
or it's for myself. It's like, cool, I want a platform where I can look at my holiday here, and then I can look at what I've done, I can recap, and it's quite nice to review from time to time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true.
What
Yeah.
about you? Mhm.
Yeah, so obviously that voice of my mum is always in my head, but at the same time, I'm trying to learn how to separate the two, like your personal and the public, if that makes sense. So I'm trying to learn how to figure out what is appropriate. And then sometimes I overthink it, and then by the time I've decided, okay, maybe I should share it, it's gone. Do you know what I mean? Like the moment is
Yeah,
gone, and you're like, oh, is it relevant now? But at the same time, that's why I've been thinking a lot more about celebrating the moments you get to achieve stuff and see how and why not? Like I'm just like, why not? Because thinking about like I remember when I was working at the talent agency. And when some agents are always like, oh, so and so's going for an audition. Oh, so and so booked this show. Oh, so and so's been penciled this. Oh, so and so, every single time
yeah.
someone did something.
Oh yes, I've seen that.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to get really like, you don't need to say that all the time, but I kind of now get it. Like I'm starting to think about it more on a marketing, but also like on getting people out there type of thing to say this
Yeah,
person is being called in because we
yeah,
know not everyone is called in because there's
yeah,
thousands of people
exactly.
applying. And so now thinking about it and reflecting on it, I realize actually those agents were trying to show that their clients are being called in, they're on
Yes.
the radar of the casting directors or
Yeah, they're in
production companies.
demand. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's like you just have to think of it, start thinking of marketing in a different way, if that makes sense. So how you
Hmm.
present yourself. It's a tricky kind of situation. You have to choose how you present yourself and when, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Yeah,
So,
for
but
sure.
yeah. And
And you
also, can
don't
I just
want,
say, your hair, it looks amazing. Is the first thing I wanted to say, but I was trying to,
oh,
I love
thank
the big
you.
hair. It looks great.
Thanks, girl.
Is
Oh,
this the
it's
new
nice.
Belinda Fenty look at the moment?
It's the look of the moment, indeed. Yes,
Mm,
it is.
mm, yes.
I forgot how high maintenance curls are. You wake up, they are flat. You put water, they are wet. They're wetting up your clothes. You don't put enough oil or cream or foam, then the texture's not quite right. This curl falls here, this one sticks up there. It's like, yeah, I miss my locks. But yeah, but also it's nice to have change. So
Yeah. Hashtag the struggle's real, y'all.
yeah, for
No,
real.
but honestly, it looks amazing.
Thanks, babes.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say because I was
Great.
trying to
No, I'm
say it
here
from the
for it. I'm always
beginning,
here
but
for
I
a
was like,
compliment. You can just say a compliment anytime you want. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah.
Belinda, love your top.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I love your smile.
Oh, thanks.
Your cute little grin right now. You're like,
I've been getting to do a few more self-tapes
nice.
as well recently and going for a few recalls, which has been also really fun. And I
Ooh, go
realized
on,
how much
girl.
I missed it, but in the
Can you
same
tell us
breath,
anything about, I
oh,
mean, you
there's
might not be able to give details, but is there anything you can tell us about your self-tapes audition experience or
a couple of them I can't. There's NDAs involved, but it was quite interesting to see how quickly I've learned how to bash them out without thinking.
yes.
Like, in spite of the noise, the chaos going on in my house with my two kids chasing and screaming at each other every now and then. And sometimes, like, literally, before I used to do it in the evening, when they've gone to bed, and then I'm like, oh, let me do it. But because I've moved house and my living room now is hasn't got a carpet, is laminate. So it echoes. So when you're recording something and you just hear echoes, like those
Yeah,
echoey
yeah.
noises, like it sounds like you're in like some kind of ether or
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, so I have to do it in the room where there's carpet because it absorbs all the sounds, the unnecessary sounds. Like even with a microphone, when I have it, it still will have that echoey sound. So I can't do my tapes anymore in the evening. I have to I have to essentially do it when I get up or as soon as I think I can during the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like going, can you give me like 15 minutes? Even though kids don't understand the concept of time. They're like, okay. So it's like putting on something they can watch in that time while you close the door, and then I run upstairs and then I record the tape. So yeah, but I've done quite a few like short films, feature, as well as commercials, which it's been a mix of different ones. But in the same breath of saying that, I decided to actually cancel my Spotlight subscription.
Oh yeah. So talk
Yeah.
us through your reasoning.
My reasoning is kind of more or less the same as before. Like, I think it's gotten a bit expensive, and I want to see, not wanting to see actually, I think it's more of like I want to explore other avenues of doing stuff myself. And I feel like, I know, yeah, someone can say, oh, you can do that while you're on Spotlight, but I think I want to see how much I can push myself because before Spotlight, I was so active at finding work myself, meeting people, getting out there, doing stuff. When I joined Spotlight, I'm not saying I became lazy, but I kind of did because I stopped going to relevant events and networking events, meeting people, being open to meeting new people and talking to people to collaborate with them. And I think a part of it is that I want to put myself back out there even more, push myself to be like, I want to do this. Okay, how am I going to do it? And I feel like obviously being on Spotlight helps. So Spotlight, if anyone's listening and doesn't really know what it is, it's like a casting website that directors, casters, production companies use to cast actors. It's a big database of actors that's been around for eons. I say eons, but for years. And like it is like the elite kind of website where it's the go-to basically, especially here in the UK. And so yeah, just about everything is cast from there. But having been in different parts of the industry and understanding the concept of how it works, I've realized that I rely on it so much, I guess, that I stopped looking at other places, like reaching out to people directly about stuff. And I know some casting directors don't like you reaching out to them directly. They prefer if you use your agent or if you have an agent and things like that. But also I found that a lot of agents don't represent actors if they don't have Spotlight, which is also like a
Yes.
catch-22 type thing because you're basically putting them in a position or giving Spotlight the power basically to control
Yeah.
everything. But I'm still like staying a member of like the unions because I feel like that's still obviously necessary. It's just even that has got its own controversies. I think
Yeah.
everything has got a form of controversy, but I think for me, I think it's just focusing on myself first and seeing how I can improve and do better. I thought, let me create a website for myself. And because this website will just not show not just my acting, but will also show the producing side and the filmmaking side. So basically everything that I've been doing and want to do, which I couldn't do, like because on Spotlight you can't put, oh, producing this. You can't do that. It's like they're separate things, but I want it to be as one, if that
Yeah.
makes
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so someone can just click, oh, cool, click, oh, cool, click, oh, cool. So yeah, so I've been working on that, my website, and hopefully by
Nice.
the end of next week, it should be done.
Wow, love it.
Wow. Yeah.
So will you sort of trial it for a year and then compare, like see whether you're, yeah, have you got a period over which you'll see whether you'll
Mm.
rejoin Spotlight or not?
Yeah, I'm thinking
Like obviously if
probably.
it's working well, then you won't need to.
Yeah, so it just depends. I'm gonna take it 3 to 6 months first, just to
Sure.
see how it goes. So it's more about because I feel like I'm also due new headshots
Yeah.
because my locks are getting a bit longer. So I feel like I'm due new headshots. So maybe about the time I'll see how I'm getting on and then yeah, redirect,
Yeah.
see how I do. But it's gonna be more like a check-in with myself every month or two to see how I'm doing and what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So
I'm a big believer in switching things up and trying stuff out. So
yeah. Yeah, it's not, I'm
yeah.
not saying I'm gonna be gone for, wherever. It's just more
Yeah,
like
exactly.
yeah, to just see
Yeah.
how
And see
much.
if you do end up
Hmm.
being more proactive. I suspect you will.
Oh, thanks, Babs.
Oh well,
Oh.
I do. Facts.
Oh, facts. I love that.
And we've both
Yeah.
had holidays,
Oh,
so we're
yes.
fresh. The one thing that I've done recently, which I
Mm.
love for my actor, is
Hmm.
I love to say yes to things that I don't normally take part in
Hmm.
or necessarily enjoy. So I said yes to my friend to go to a heavy metal gig.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
So it's not my music at all. But I
Yeah.
thought, the curious kind of actor in me was like, do you know what? Just from an acting point of view, this is going to be interesting. Because
Hmm.
then I can see what this community of people are like, and
Mm.
I can try and find some appreciation within the artistry of heavy metal, performing heavy metal, even if it's not my music. So I went and I really did because, first of all, just looking at the performers, I was impressed with how big they make themselves
Right.
and how kind of powerful and aggressive, because that's such an art form. You can't
Yes.
do heavy metal kind of limp bodied and going, yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to go, So that is, I was watching that and I was watching
Mm.
this sort of masculine energy coming off of it.
Mm.
There weren't any female performers when I
Oh,
went,
okay.
but
Mm.
even if there had been, it'd be interesting to see whether they would have a masculine energy or, like, I don't know, or be as aggressive or not. But I
Mm.
found that really interesting, and I was marveling at how they managed to keep their voices with that screamy sound. Like, how are their vocal cords not just horrific? How do they have any voice left? So that was great, just watching that. And then also it was watching the audience and seeing the people at the front who turn into a sort of mosh pit
Yes.
becoming very sort of aggressive, but they're not actually going to hurt anyone, but they're sort of like toddlers kind of lashing out physically with their bodies, no coordination, like falling into each other, like touching each other. It kind of looks aggressive, but no one's really getting hurt. And I thought,
Mm-hmm.
okay, it feels like they're really getting from this music and this experience, they're getting the ability to express parts of themselves, to
Mm-hmm.
express anger that is potentially within them, to feel a bit free, like I got a sense of freedom. So I was like, okay, I can see what they're getting out of this art. I'm
Yeah.
not necessarily going to get that out of it because I don't want to get stuff. I value my not having bruises, basically.
Yeah.
I value not having a broken nose, and like it gets pretty wild in
Oh, so
there.
how
But
close were you from the front then?
I was near the front at first,
Mm.
but then as they started doing that mosh pit stuff, me and my fellow actor friend, like, edged back. We're like, nah, no thanks.
Not the
Yeah, exactly.
place. My
And
money
one girl I
maker.
did, she got sort of knocked to the ground. One girl, like, not it's not intentional, but
Okay.
it'd be so uncoordinated.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was suddenly on the floor. We were helping her up, but it's like, nah, I don't really
Mm.
want that. So yeah,
Wow.
so heavy metal band fed
That
my art.
must have been exciting. I can
Yeah,
imagine.
I had
Ah.
earplugs. I recommend earplugs to anyone.
Do they sell
It's
them
just
at
so
the
loud.
door or did you
They
just take them?
actually do give them out behind the bar, but I have the little loops that I always
Okay.
carry with me on my
Mm.
keyring. which are great.
Okay. Oh, that's amazing. I think I've gone to one once. It was for a writer who just he loves, like, he was getting into heavy metal and stuff. It was in Camden, I feel, remember we went to as well. I never really asked him about his voice, to be honest, because I was just more like, yo, he was like
Yeah.
it's like, damn, and you do it, and then they just go on the microphone. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like,
yeah.
gosh, but you're right. How, like, that voice, like, they relaxing your voice so much. If you're doing that almost like every day, like your voice, how does that recover? Can you imagine someone doing a tour just every day doing that? That's amazing. It's kind of like toddlers, like you say, in the sense that when they scream, they don't, their voices keep stay. I think it's something to do with the muscles. So and
you're right.
Yeah, how much relaxation, basically, you're
Yeah,
not,
good point.
it's not from here, it's from the belly, just pushing it out, just so.
Yeah, I forgot that.
Oh, that would be a nice little
Babies
exercise
can
to
scream
do.
all day long and not lose. You never hear a baby with a lost voice unless it's got a virus.
Deliver us, the devil's in the child. And speaking of new stuff and things like that, I wanted to mention about me starting to review trailers to try and guess what the film is about or what the TV show is about. So my first episode is going out next week, but I thought, like, I'll start with Gladiator 2. Thanks, Vibes. Gladiator 2 with Denzel Washington. So yeah, Ridley Scott has directed the second Gladiator 2, and over 20 years after the first one with Maximus Russell Crowe, when Russell Crowe was, hot cakes in Hollywood. Yeah, so I'm just trying to see if I can predict what the premise of the film is based on the trailer and who the baddies are and who the goodies are, what the intentions are, type of thing. I'm trying to do the 5 W's of who, what, when, where, and how.
Nice.
So yeah, so it's kind of like watching the trailer.
How is how a W? But yeah, anyway.
I know, I always question that when I did journalism. I always wondered, end, but I guess it's because it's a question. Yeah, that's how I went the 4, 5 W's. It's a how with the W silent,
How?
Maybe because it's on the end, so maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I thought I'd just get into that and see what I can, before I've seen it. Can I guess? Can I get it right? But I think it's not even about getting it right, but also seeing if I can guess what the story is or how it would be and what it digs.
How many times do you watch the trailer to do this?
Actually, I only watched it twice. Cool. So the first time I realized I wasn't saying nothing because I was just watching the trailer. Yeah. And then the second time I did it, I was now focused on talking through what I think, and then I'd pause it and be like, oh, okay. So I realized that's the way I'm going to go, where I pause it and then say something before I forget what I want to say. So it's kind of like reacting to what's happening in the trailer as it's happening and saying what I'm thinking.
That's so interesting because... guess what trailer's been released this week? Peter Pan, baby. Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. And we've been getting lots of people doing trailer reactions, interestingly.
Okay. Ooh, this could be a segment for the podcast too. I'm excited for this. Belinda, can you tell us about this before we watch it?
Yes. So, welcome to the Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. So this is a horror feature film that I was acting in earlier this year that you might have heard me mention on a previous podcast. And all I'm going to say is the name gives some of it away. Peter Pan, hey? So yeah, childhood story turned into a horror. There you go.
Wakey, wakey. Peekaboo.
How did you get down there?
I'm Peter. It's nice to meet you.
When Timmy went missing, what do you remember?
He's close to Neverland, and he must act now to take the children with him.
It's time to collect.
Oi, freak!
You gonna pay for that?
Hi, Peter. Do you know what I have?
Don't worry about Michael. I'm gonna take him to Neverland.
So if you need a hand...
Wow.
Who wants to come to Neverland with me? It's my duty to send the kids to Neverland and protect them from this world.
In a place where you can be a little boy for the rest of your existence.
Get back to me!
Marco.
Polo.
Marco.
Polo.
Ew.
Unfortunately, you froze for me. Your video froze, so I didn't get to see like live reaction. It only reanimated like right towards the end. At first, I was like, "Is she frozen or is she just shocked?" She shook,
shook.
so she can't move. Yeah, exactly. But your screen was frozen. But yeah.
No, that was really cool. That was really cool, you know. Yeah, I like the Joker vibes that it was giving me, like in the sense of like actually it's a good twist. Because it's how can I say this without giving I don't even know the film without giving anything away. But I feel like
I love that.
But the beginning you're like, oh, okay, kind of got that, it vibe thing of, the drain going through. But then I love the play on it. Like, actually, what if? I always love a what if type of film or show because it makes it darker. It makes it much more interesting because we're so used to being fed that, this is how it is. This is how it is. But this actually gives you that vibe of, what if this is what it was actually like?
Yeah.
Like the Brothers Grimm, I
was thinking that children's stories are the darkest, like scariest, sickest stories, really.
Until they're Disneyed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So so I love that it's giving me those vibes. I like the what if moment of what if this is how this ended up. So I love that the trailer is showing you the dark moments of like we were talking, the Brothers Grimm is where most of fairy tales come from. But the darkness of those stories, the original stories were fables, weren't they? Telling kids don't do that, don't do that.
Yes.
Don't follow the breadcrumbs. Don't go into the forest. The Little Mermaid, actually, it's brutal death. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So this is giving me those vibes, which I really, really like. And I think that, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Oh,
yeah, I think so.
I can't wait. I can't wait, Belinda. I really love that. The details. I feel like they're paying homage to different genres, different horror movies,
Yes, like you said, with the
Joker, Freddy Krueger, the school bus.
Yes.
Oh, now I feel like I should do a challenge. Can I spot
that's
Easter eggs? Easter eggs in the trailer. But no, I'm honestly, I'm a horror fan. I'm a horror fan. I love horror, and I always hate it when you can predict what the horror is going to be. But I love it when it provides, like, when horror gives you a different twist, a fresh twist on a genre or something that's usually all light and bubbly and fun.
I get you. I so get you. It totally makes sense. So that's why Get Out was so cool.
Yeah.
Because like, there's a deep societal kind of, not moral, but like it reflects real society and real life, but via horror, something that actually goes on. And the whole feeling of white spaces and and being othered and I don't know. I love
being
it when
comfortable
they do that.
also in your own skin, and the fact that you think you can live through other people, or that kind of thing.
Yeah
So yeah, no, I love a good horror. So I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, I'll keep you posted on the release. I'm not sure when it's going to be yet. But I went to the studio to do ADR last week. And that was fun because I hadn't done it before, and to be screaming and making like dying sounds, spoiler. I wouldn't ordinarily give spoilers, but the trailer is one massive spoiler. Like, oh, okay.
Can you tell the people what ADR is, just so people know?
Yeah, so when a film is made, after it's made, they go through all the sound and they make sure that it is all perfect, because bad sound can ruin a film. Or they make sure they enhance or bring out certain sounds. If they want a line that's clearer, then they'll want you to do the line clearer, or they want you to slightly change a line to make it make more sense, but time it with your mouth. Then you're watching yourself on the screen and you're giving the line in at the right moment, and they're recording that and they'll lay that sound on top. And in my case, some of the screams, some of the grunts for the fighting sort of scene, like, I had to make all of these sounds and physically use my body to do it as well. I can never remember what ADR stands for. Automated dialogue replacement. And ADR in film is the process of re-recording audio in a more controlled and quieter setting, usually in a studio. There you go.
Frozen again. That's right.
Yeah, you have, but it's in a smile. That's nice. It's cute. I've got a good idea. I can say anything to you now, and you're going to smile. Smile if you think I'm the best person in the world. Oh, thank you. Smile if you think I'm even better than your kid. So sweet. I think that's a bit messed up, but still I appreciate it. Thanks, babe. Smile if you're going to give me £1 million. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to remind you of this. It's recorded, so thanks.
I remember one time, but this was just for a video game. Healy, the original voice for Tomb Raider, she was talking about how she had to do so many different voices and sounds for the game. And she did over 200 sounds, different sounds. I can imagine. And when you think about the video game, and it's just like when she's climbing up, when she jumps. Yeah. The breathing. Yeah. And I think she was on Graham Norton, and she was saying, it was like the most weird, surreal experience she's ever had, because it wasn't just even about the lines. She just went in one day and they're like, okay, we need a sound for this, a sound for that, a sound for this, a sound for that. And then she had to look at this list of sounds she has to make with her voice. So that just reminded me of that when you talk about AJ, and I just remembered. Just imagine you in a studio going and then just
exactly
you're saying how you had to do the fight scenes. But it makes it all worthwhile. Like you said, the sound brings it all together and makes it what it is, makes a film or show or even theater in itself what it is. Powerful. But you had fun though, didn't you? Looks like you had fun.
I had fun. I really did. Luckily I didn't have to scream too much, because it is an art form, isn't it, to do it and not hurt yourself, even supported, like, because if you want it to be a bit gravelly, then the process of making it gravelly automatically can irritate the vocal cords. You support here, but you want some resistance or some tension to create the sound, so it's such a tight balance, tricky balance, but
amazing. Looking forward to it. Can't wait. Can't wait
to see your official trailer analysis.
So I'm excited to do that. Actually, I think it's going to be a good challenge just to see what. Also, I think it's also because I want to know what's coming out, really, and whether to be excited for it, especially stuff that's just where you just like, oh, okay. Sometimes you watch, because after COVID, cinemas has just gone quiet, especially because streaming has taken over basically. So thinking about cinema, going to the cinema is like, it's not the same vibe like it used to be.
Yeah, because often it's going to be streamable in a few weeks, whereas before you'd have to wait when you'd have to pay. But often these films are almost instantly
straight to,
streamable.
yeah,
Big change, big change.
Yeah, but in France, for like especially with Cannes Film Festival, for your film to qualify for a lot of the festivals in France, or even just before it goes on streaming services, the film has to be released in cinema.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, even if
so
it's
they're saving their cinemas.
Exactly, because I guess it makes sense, because you don't want to, like, some of the shows or films that you're watching here, especially films, they're not going to be available on streaming service. If they're available in the UK or America, they'll actually have to be in the cinema first, released in cinema before they put it on a streaming service. So even if it's like a Disney film, that's why Scarlett Johansson had that thing a couple of years ago with Black Widow, because they were releasing it directly to Disney. Even though you had to pay extra to watch it, the original deal with her was it would be released in a cinema. And
then there's that complication of if you don't make a big box office earning, it's perceived as a flop, even if you have like a gazillion viewers on like streaming, cinema box set. So it's
there you go.
I actually try not to watch trailers.
No?
I generally try not to watch trailers. It's tricky. If I'm in the cinema, then I quite enjoy it. I'll watch it. But the reason why I try to avoid the synopsis and the trailer where possible, I guess that's more if I know I'm going to see the film anyway. The grey area is where you might be scrolling through and trying to pick something to watch next. Then I might try and like get a little bit of it, but I don't want too much, because I want to be fully surprised in the moment, I guess. And I don't want to form any opinions. So
I like because I don't mind spoilers, but I also like to judge, because trailers these days give away too much, I think. Which is
that's it.
Rightly so. But I guess they're trying to get, because of the whole attention, like short span attention, the lot of people these days, everything's fast. So I think they're trying to put as the best bits, even some of the bits that end up on the cutting floor in the editing room, which are not going to be in the film, they put it in the trailer. So you're kind of like, they do, it's more of a marketing thing really, just to get people. And also because sometimes they edit a trailer before they finish editing the film, so a bit that could have probably ended up in the film and they thought it might end up in the film is then cut out and they put something else. So I suppose but I know what you mean. Like trailers, they do, a lot of trailers give away a lot of what's happening. That's why I sometimes like say Christopher Nolan, when he's done some of his trailers in the past where it just shows the first minute of the film and that's it. Some directors do that, because then it kind of, you're like, because that's the first thing that's going to hook you, right? And also it doesn't, I feel like that doesn't give away much, because you're like, oh cool, we're just getting a picture of a city, what about the city? And then someone's walking into whatever scene they decide to start with. But usually find like the first minute or two of a film will tell you how the film's going to go. So I think that's a better way of doing trailers.
I love it. Yeah.
So,
and you're right. I remember you saying that your husband is good for that.
The
first minute.
And he'll just tell you it's going to be terrible. So but also when he's watching a trailer as well, like you, he stops it when it's time to give away stuff. He'll watch like 30 seconds and then just stop it.
Yes.
And be
same.
like,
okay.
And then I'll go into another room and just be like, continue. But I do enjoy watching trailers. I love guessing what a film is going to be. And also sometimes I also love, like, I don't know if you've heard of them, honest trailers.
Oh no.
They're called, it says it's been around for years. It's called Honest Trailers. And basically it's this bunch of guys this guy who's got this amazing voice and he's doing that voice, you know, before in the back in the day when the voice or the trailer telling you the trailer. Oh man, yes. Oh my god. He is so good. So if you've watched a film, I recommend it after you've watched the film. But I also, part of me also recommends it before you watch a film. But they do more, it's mostly a spoiler trailer. But it's an honest trailer of the film.
Yeah.
So they start off with the trailer of the actual film. And then he does his own summary at the end.
I think I've heard of this or maybe seen one for a film before. Yeah.
But I love it that, you know, and then they just basically give you the plot line with the trailer.
And it's funny usually, isn't it?
Yes, but with his voice when he's doing it, it's like, and then at the end where people have asked him to say random things in his voice, so he just says, big sound coming through, big banana. Like, you know, he says random words, or like reading the comments out in the voice. But it's really actually, I thought it's a clever concept of where they summarize the film for you. So I don't recommend it after you've watched the film. And a lot of people then recommend it after. But yeah, they're really good honest trailers. But I'm just doing mine because I'm just like, I love just trying to guess. I'm excited for your trailer, for your movie. I'm really looking forward to it. And can't wait to see it.
I'm wishing you a beautiful week.
And you have a beautiful everything. And I'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
See you later, listeners. Bye.
Bye-bye.